All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so you guys have been on me and you were like, you're talking about condo market and it's tanking. Nothing is happening to detached homes or freehold properties. Well, okay, so we will take a tour from Mississauga into Brampton, into Toronto, all the way to Oshawa. So we kind of have the entire picture of Toronto GTA. And I specifically chose freehold detached properties. Obviously, not everybody is in heat. Not everybody needs to sell. A lot of people or some people are mortgage free. But I specifically focused on transactions that happen within the few years, right? So people that have bought 2020, 2021, maybe 2022, and what is going on and how big of hits are they actually taking, if any. So let's get right into the video. All right, so the first home, it's located in Mississauga. So this is a small bungalow. It's located in a beautiful area of Port Credit, which is south part of Mississauga, close to Lake Ontario. So having said that, let's look at what was going on. So in November 2021, they have listed the house for 2.299 million. So I'm assuming they wanted to get multiple offers or whatever. Then they have relisted, so they have terminated, relisted for $2.3 million and went on and on and on and on and on all the way to 2024. Now, looking at the house, we can argue small bungalow, detached, finished basement, nothing really special, but you know, it has some cute features to it. Having said that, this property sold for 1.65 million, right? In 2024, December, right? So when I'm looking at the entire graph, like, I mean, how many, this is like $700,000, $800,000 off the asking price in 2021. So this is the first concern. Obviously, there's commissions, there's fees, there's land transfer taxes, there's all kinds of stuff attached to the sale or transaction in real estate. But think about it for a second. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars just because they thought at this particular time, I'm assuming that, look, real estate will continue to go. I have no idea. I mean, look, it's maybe it's me, but this house is nothing special. Taxes on this house, $8,427.51. All right, so let's continue into Brampton, right? So Brampton, this house is obviously a little bit newer, whatnot. So it was sold in March of 2022. So this is that peak. That's the ultimate peak of the real estate market. As per many graphs, debates, or whatever, the peak of the market in Toronto, GTA, was March 2022. So these investors, families, or people, whoever bought this particular home, bought it right at the sweet spot, right at the peak of the real estate market. And they paid for this beauty $2,020,000. I mean, look, decent home, looks like it's a newer build, unfinished basement, has some nice quirks and features, nothing really special, but it's okay. Lot is 38 wide by 93 deep, which seems to be kind of the traditional cookie cutter home. Even though in 2022, this particular home sold for $2,020,000. By the way, homes like this in 2010, all right, were selling around $500,000. $500,000. All right, so let's move on. Let me shut my phone off. All right, so now How much did they sell in 2024 in December? December 20th, right before the holidays, Christmas and the New Year's, they sold this beautiful gem for 1.335 thousand. So 1.3 and change. So think about it for a second. Why did they sell? All right, so the question is, why did they sell? To be honest with you, I have no idea why they sold, but I know one thing. They lost probably their equity down payment. They were probably struggling for 2 years to carry this particular property. They were probably, I'm assuming, taking a variable mortgage rate, as many did in this particular era. And who knows? So they decided to sell for a loss, for a cut. We're talking over $350,000 in this case in 2 years. This is significant. All right, so let's get into taxes. $7,670 annual taxes. All right, so now we get into Oshawa. This particular home in Oshawa looks like it has been a custom built home at one point. Stunning double car garage. Looks like it's stucco brick stone mixture. Looks good. I look out from outside, looks like a timeless piece. However, check this out. This property sold in March. Again, March, peak season of 2022. March 21st, 2022, the peak. They sold this property for $2,550,000. All right, so now we can argue the style of the home, we can argue this, we can argue that, whatever. Somebody paid for this home $2.5 million and change at that time. Finished basement, separate entrance, has a pool, 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom in the basement, 52 by 143 lot, decent lot, good. But don't forget, you are in Oshawa. So we're not talking you're at Yonge Street or Spadina, or you're looking, at CN Tower, right? So you are an hour by GO train from downtown Toronto, right? And someone paid over $2.2 million. All right, so what happened in June 2024? Did they sell for more or did they sell for less? I'm not gonna keep you waiting. All right, so they obviously sold for less, and they took a very short haircut on this because they sold for $1,750,000. So it is close to what, $500,000, or like what is over $700,000 loss, right? Now, when we're looking at all of this, and like I'm looking at this and I'm like, why would they sell, right? And in Oshawa, taxes on this property were $13,597 in 2024. But why would they sell? Obviously, they sold because of financial difficulty, right? So why did they buy in 2022? I don't know. FOMO, they wanted a house, they had some funds, money was cheap, maybe they were approved faster or better because the circumstances at that particular time were amazing. All right, so in Oshawa, this particular home sold for 1.75 and they bought it in 2022 for 2.55. All right, so let's come back to Toronto. All right, so in Toronto, we're talking a specific home. All right, it's on the higher end, and I chose this for a reason because a lot of you know Bridle Path, right? So Bridle Path is Toronto section area C12, right? Beautiful, stunning homes, best schools, best neighborhood, this and that. Taxes are $16,063.70 for this particular home. And let me show you the beautiful house, right? Okay, so we can argue that the house is a timeless piece or not. I like it from the outside. It has character. It looks like it has a gate, a beautiful stonework outside, beautiful landscaping, mature area, older kitchen, a lot of buyers would not prefer because they want these off-whites and CC40s and CC6. I don't even know. Gray, pigeon gray kitchens, whatever. I don't know. But they don't want this kitchen, even though we can argue that this kitchen is probably better quality, right? But nobody likes it anyway. So everything has to come out. New has to come in, even though it's less quality. So something happened here. I don't know what happened. All right, so this home sold in May 20th for $3.88 million, 2023. Beautiful. All right, so as the time went on, in December of 2023, they listed this home for $9,600,000. Now, I have no idea why this happened. And first I thought, okay, so this is maybe a mistake, a typo, right? So we're humans, we do make mistakes, obviously. So it was a typo, something happened, I have no idea. But then I looked into it. I'm like, okay, so let me go back. So they bought it in May for 3.88. So then in August 1st, it transferred. Then in September 29th, right away, they listed it for 4.6 million. Check this out. So right away, so as soon as they got the keys, I don't know, they probably realized, oh my gosh, we cannot afford this. So they have been in the home for 1 month. All right, no problem. We don't know why, but whatever, they tried. So 4.6. Then they relisted for 9.6, which got terminated. Then they listed in February for almost $4 million. All right, so what I'm thinking, they're probably, bought it at 3.88, then they included the commissions and the transfers and all the cost, and they said, look, we want to sell and break even, take our money out, and we're done with this game. So obviously nothing happened. They kept listing it, lowering it a little bit, and they finally sold it in November 2024 for $3.45 million, right? So they took a haircut of north of $500,000 just being in the game for 1 year. And I don't even know if it's a full cycle year, but like I'm just looking at some data here. But this is what I'm saying, guys. I mean, like, look, yes, there are people out there, I know, bought long time ago. Got nothing to worry about. Good for you, right? But there are some people that are playing this high stakes, expensive, you can lose a lot of money, you can gain a lot of money too in real estate, and a lot of people did. But the question is, what is going to happen as we're moving forward, 2025, 2026, right? I keep mentioning Toronto condo market can sink the entire market, because check this out. If these people in Bridle Path, let's say they bought 6 pre-con units, and I know you're probably laughing, you're like, yeah, they probably didn't. How do you know? They probably did, right? Because everybody did. Whether they lived on Bridle Path, whether they lived in Oakville, whether they lived, everybody invested their equity, their money, they wanted more gains, they wanted more profits, right? I don't know if it's greed or just numbers, but everybody wanted more. So if they were stuck with pre-con units, coming for occupancy, guess what they're gonna do? Panic. Something has to give, right? Something somewhere has to give, unless you have savings. Most do not have savings. Now, moving forward in 2025, 40,000 pre-construction units are coming up for occupancy. 40,000 in Toronto GTA, and another 30 to 35,000 in year 2026 in Toronto GTA. So think about it. That's like 70, 80,000 of these units. We don't know. Maybe your neighbor bought 4 of these and you have no idea. And you're looking at him and you're like, why is this guy so stressed? Why is he drinking extra large coffee every morning. He used to have like a small black with one sugar because he was watching his diet. All of a sudden, he's like freaking out, losing his hair and all of that stuff. You have no idea what is going on. And why I keep showing these examples, because like even look at the monitor. This is stunning. But you have no idea what these people are going through, what kind of businesses they're running, how severe the cost of running a business or of running a lifestyle is. So sometimes being content and being happy with what you have and not pulling these triggers on every corner just because it seems fine, or I should have done it. How many? I've spoken to so many people and they're like, look, in 2021 and 2022, we were scared, right? They spoke to me at the time. They spoke to, I'm sure, to other people, but they were scared, right? They were like, oh my gosh, we wanted to pull that trigger. We were so eager to pull that trigger, to make that $1 million overnight, right? But they didn't, right? Now they're like, oh my gosh, what would have happened if we did, right? And they're like, few $100s, between being completely broke and staying alive. Believe me, there are people out there, especially with all these costs kind of rising. We can even argue that they're skyrocketing, and who knows, might even get worse. But all I'm saying is sometimes being safe, being content, standing on your feet properly means more than having everything on paper, but nothing is really yours. So I hope you enjoy this content. Please continue watching of any of these videos if you like, and I will see you in the next one.